மைந்தனே தில்லை ஊரர்தம் பாகத்து உமை மைந்தனே உலகேழும் பெற்ற சீர் அபிராமி சீரபிராமி அந்தாதி எப்போதும் என் சிந்தையுள்ளே காரமர்மேனி கணபதியே காரமர்மேனி கணபதியே கணபதியே நிற்க கட்டுரைய கணபதியே நிற்க கட்டுரைய Thank you. Indian Overseas Banks Retirees Association, well known as I.O.B.'s 7th Triennial Conference, is going to commence now. Many a live wire would be dead if not for its connections. So, connections, togetherness, voicing, and working for genuine and meaningful causes, all that are made possible jointly by managements, associations, unions, etc., etc. That way, I.O.B.RA has been very effectively functioning for the benefit of the former employees. I request Mr. Radhakrisnan of I.O.B.RA to welcome the gathering.
Good evening. I'm really happy to have this opportunity to welcome the chief guest and guest of honor who have accepted our invitation and make it possible to come and address this August gathering. Our President I.O.B.RA, C.A.L. Chandramouli sir, and chief guest Pratim, Partha Pratim Sengupta ji, our MD and CEO of Indian Overseas Bank, and guest of honor, our General Manager HR, Mr. Rabindra Kumar Pradhan, and accompanied by Deputy General Manager Mr. Subramanian, and other guests on the dais, our General Secretary Mr. Balachandran, and Joint General Secretary Mr. Jagannathan, and Senior Vice President Mr. Pithachi, and our beloved delegates, Central Committee members, I.O.B. retirees, Employees Union, and I also could see the members from All India Overseas Bank Officers Association, All India Overseas Bank Employees Union, as well as from the members of All India Bank Retired Federation, as well as Tamil Nadu Bank Retired Federation, and retirees of bank officers and employees. And I also welcome the members, those who are unable to come here and able to view this program online. So this is a welcome to them also to come to the online to view today's evening function. And I, on behalf of I.O.B. Retirees Associations, as well as on my behalf, welcome all of you for this gathering meeting. And before I give a small brief about our chief guest for today's function, and for his information, sir, this is I.O.B.RA, Indian Overseas Bank Retirees Association, is 27 years young. Started way back in 1995 with senior faculties who had a very rich banking as well as the state union experience, not less than our Mr. Balagopala Menon, former General Secretary of our Employees Union, All India Workers Bank Employees Union, and Mr. C.V.S.T. Kumaraswamy, who was our president of I.O.B. OA, and Mr. Comrade Mr. B.B. Ghosh, who was the president of Indian Workers Employees Union in West Bengal, and as well as Comrade C.R. Chandrasekharan, and our Mr. Beloved Mr. Namassivayam, who retired as executive director of our bank. All have put their mind and started this organization in way back in 1995. Till then, this association has grown and reached to this level of having around 8,500 members as on date. And coming to our chief guest for today's function, our MD and Chief Executive Officer of I.O.B, I had an occasion to listen to his speech which he has given last month, precisely during this All India Workers Bank Officers Association conference. It was really a marvelous speech. I think, sir, that speech is worth taking copy and forwarding to all the employees of I.O.B. The excellent speech. He has gone to the root of I.O.B. And even some of us may not be aware which Mr. Sengupta-ji could grab within the span of 1.5 years in our bank. The 33 years of experience which he has gathered in State Bank of India, and this 1.5 years, he understood the I.O.B. genesis, how it is started, and what circumstances it was started, how the bank, though it is a national bank, started with the international concept on day one, and how the employees look still young, and how the employees are able to adapt themselves to the changes with quick succession. And he has also praised how the I.O.Bs used to have a good camel rating, better than State Bank of India. When he was in State Bank, they used to wonder. That's why probably State Bank has sent you here, sir, to know how the I.O.B, the old veterans have performed for I.O.B when the I.O.B got the camel rating of first 3 rating. So when I heard his speech, it was really a spellbound speech. And he also told what he is expecting to the employees of today. That was also very, is it disturbing? It was also an eye-opener to all the existing employees. He has made it very clearly how the bank started, how the bank moved, what were the visions of our former founder, of the bank, Mr. Chettiar, and how they have, rather he has even quoted some of the incidents which has touched my heart. Even how the then employees of I.O.B, Chettiar's group, they brought the money in their shoulder from Rangoon to say back to Calcutta, and how they wanted to ensure the safety of the public money. So it has gone very deep into Mr. Senguptaji's mind. I am sure I.O.B is in good hand today. And I.O.B has already turned its corner and turning its corner, and I am sure I.O.B will be definitely achieving the goal which it has been achieving. Number of years, sir, our bank has been the best bank and got the award which you yourself must be aware of. And I am sure under his leadership and amply supported by the 2 well-experienced executive directors with devotion and the general managers from our rank will definitely make the bank to further heights. And he has also kept one side the bank's performance, in another side he has also thought the employees also should be taken care of, and he has also given some fringe benefits to the existing employees, also assured there will be some recruitments ahead. Thank you very much, sir. You have taken in I.O.B, and we are really confident I.O.B employees are in safe hand and I.O.B in safe hand. Only thing what we wish is, as you said, in number of merger, I.O.B maintain its identity. We as the retiring officers want that this also need to be maintained. I.O.B's identity has to be maintained, it should never be lost. That's the only request which we the retirees wanted you to please carry and see that I.O.B's name is always kept and identity is maintained. Coming to our guest of honor, Mr. Pradhan, yes, he is our own employee, has got about more than 3 decades of experience, working very many places, has come to general manager HR. I think he is there as for the past 1.5 to 2 years. probably this year end he may be retiring. I think December? June, oh, this June. So I think he definitely will be joining us soon. Till such, he will be definitely contributing whatever best possible to us. Welcome you, sir, to this August gathering. And I also welcome Mr. Subramaniam and other guests on the guest. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Radhakrisnan. Sri A.L. Chandramouli, he needs no introduction. We affectionately call him as ALC Sir. And he had grown with Indian Overseas Bank and worked at varied levels, and his contributions are very well known. And people were privileged to work with him, including me. It was a wonderful time when he was there. We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. That way, ALC Sir's dedicated, sincere efforts for the welfare of the retirees are very, very well known. Request Sri ALC Sir to deliver the presidential address.
Respected MD Sri Parthapratim Samgupta, our beloved Managing Director and Chief Executive, Mr. Ramendra Kumar Pradhan, General Manager, HR, DGM Mr. Subramaniam, Mr. Balachandar, Mr. Petachi, Mr. Jagannathan, my dear comrades from IOBRA and our fraternal organization from AIBRF, Mr. Narsimalu of Central Bank of Retirees Association, A.B. Kasturangan of Canara Bank Retirees Association, Mr. T.K. Subramaniam of Corporation Bank, Radhakrisnan of Central Bank, Radhakrisnan of Canara Bank, and Vishnathan of Central Bank. So I have great pleasure in welcoming you all for this 7th Triennial Conference, which is being inaugurated by our none other than our MD, Mr. Parthapratim Samgupta. This organization of IOBRA is a retirees organization for the sake of MD. It is an all-cadre organization from sweeper to general manager. All are members of this organization. We have about 7,500 members, and we have grown from 95 to this level. And on this day, we remember our founders, Mr. P. Balagopala Menon, President of the Employees Union, and B.B. Ghosh from Employees Union West Bengal, coming together from South and East, formed this association, ably supported by Mr. V.S.T. Kumaraswamy and Namaswayam. V.S.T. Kumaraswamy was General Manager of I.O.B. and also President of the I.O.B. Officers Association. Mr. Namaswayam was Executive Director. Now we have grown into a formidable organization with membership over 7,500, for which great role played by late General Secretary Dr. Ramji, who was living, breathing welfare of retirees under IOBRA. We are affiliated to All India AIBRF, membership of 2 lakhs retirees of all banks, comprising of retirees of PSUs, private banks, new private banks, and foreign banks. We have our chief guest, none other than Parthapratim Samgupta, our beloved Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer, who turned the bank around and brought it out of PCA, and now taking the bank to growth path and making the bank digitally acceptable to new generation customers, bring down the age profile of the customers so that the growth and its product profitability becomes sustainable. We really appreciate your vision for the future of the bank. When we called on him to invite for the General Council, he readily agreed, despite his busy schedule. Whenever we met him, he patiently heard our views and looked on the demands with a very positive frame of mind. When we demanded interest-free loan to meet the payment of health insurance premium, he politely told us bank cannot consider this and instead sanctioned the loan with very favorable interest rate. So we find in him a leader who has ears to the ground and can hear dewdrops. No doubt, under your able leadership, bank has turned profitable and it will reach greater heights. You have made the bank with second highest provision coverage with 92.3% and first with the highest percentage of retail loan of 52.3%, first in cost to income ratio at 44.62%. I am sure IOB will become the best bank among PSUs and stay as PSU. We will be with you in this endeavor. Having attended as chief guest of IOB Officers Association Conference, now you are attending General Council of the IOB RA with about 300 members coming all over from India. From north to south, east to west, IOB retirees are here. All corners of India, who are all loyal and committed to IOB. They're all bank depositors. And our members will be having aggregate deposits of more than 600 crores with average deposits of rupees 10 lakhs per retiree. You are not only attending a retirees conference, but also a depositors conference. Valuable, loyal, and committed customer to IOB. We have to appreciate you on 4 counts. Ensured IOB was not merged with bigger banks, turned the bank around and brought it out of PCA, taking the bank on growth path, making it tech savvy so that profit becomes sustainable. When you give more dividend to owner, I'm sure owner will not think of privatizing. IOB has a distinct history which you narrated in the Officers Association Conference. May I add that I hail from the founders village, Karnataka. I have a relationship with the founder, so my commitment to the bank is blood related and also equity related because my father was a shareholder of Indian Overseas Bank Limited. I don't think many have this distinction. You have the interest of serving staff and that are retirees in your heart. So we have great pleasure in welcoming you. We also welcome GM Mr. R.K. Pradhan, who is a die-hard IOBian and has interest of retirees in his heart with a very positive frame of mind. Ever since he took over the deposits department, we are getting positive vibrations from him, and he will do better now as the bank has become profitable and on growth path. We have great pleasure in welcoming our DJ Mr. Subramaniam of HR department in our midst, and both can see some of their old colleagues. So I have great pleasure in welcoming delegates, office bearers, and our members who are the heartthrob of IOBRA, coming all corners of India, coming all the way to Chennai. I assure you that we are doing our best and all continue to the same, make your life comfortable, and also assure you that updation will definitely happen with assurance from Finance Minister. I have only one request to make our MD to recommend to IBA to consider our legitimate demand of updation. With this, I welcome each one of you for this inaugural conference of the 7th Triennial, and great pleasure in welcoming all of the chief guests. With this and leave it to you for the address by chief guest. Thank you.
Thank you, ALC sir. The chief guest of this evening, Shri Partha Pratin Sengupta ji, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of our beloved Indian Overseas Bank, took over IOB when the banking system had very, very many challenges, and added to that economic implications of the global pandemic too. Talent is that which is in a man's power, and genius is that in whose power a man is. To him, achievements are wondrous journeys and not destinations. Before I request Sri Sengupta ji to address the gathering, I request ALC sir to honor the chief guest. Mr. Balachandran will be honoring our DGM, Mr. Subramaniam. Thank you. Request our Chairman, Sengupta ji, to address the gathering.
Good evening. First of all, let me extend my heartiest thanks to I.O.B Retirees Association to give me an opportunity to come over here and attend the 7th Triennial Conference. Sri Chandramouli, President, I.O.B Retirees Association, Sri Balachandran, General Secretary, I.O.B RA, all other distinguished office bearers of I.O.B RA, Sri Pradhans, Sri Subramaniam, and all other colleagues, and all my fellow, I won't say retired, rather colleagues who are batting their second innings. It gives really an immense pleasure. You see, first of all, let me first tell from my heart what I have heard from Sri Radhakrisnan. And it's not that he was just praising me, but I was rather amazed that a retiree, a person who has retired from the bank's interest, has taken so much of interest in the bank. That itself speaks the quality of you all and the bank that you have left for the newer generation. Still today so much attached, still today so much interested, despite knowing that your pension will come every month. But that is something which is a bondage of you all with the organization and the institution, which has a rich history. So I think Mr. Radhakrisnan has told something about the rich history of I.O.B. So wherever I go, I just find out that what is the history of the institution. In fact, when in State Bank of India has also, from where I have come, there also it has got a very, very rich history. We all know that it was one of the banks which was formulated by the Europeans for their own need, but later turned out to be the Bank of the Indians. And very good, interesting points are there for that year to be shared. For example, I was a CGM in Kolkata Circle. It has got an archive center. So it had a check which was signed by the then Governor General Lord Bentinck. And the check was kept in that archive because it was returned by the bank because there was a shortfall of 6 paisa. And instead of rather rebuking the staff, Governor General Lord Bentinck, he made a comment that here is a bank I can trust upon. So that is the history of SBI, what it carries. And I.O.B, when I was just going through the various phases for that year and was reading about our founder, he was a great, great visionary. I can tell you, in the field of economics and finance, our founder, Sri M.B. Chidambaram Chettiar, he has dreamt of certain things which in those days which people could not have dreamt. See, he belonged to the Chettinad family, and our president is related to them, to him also for that year. And this Chettinad family is well known for business, no doubt. They have contributed a lot for the trade and commerce development of the state. But the limitations were there. It was almost a community-based trading. Just like the Marwaris in the north those days, or the Baniyas, they used to keep their trading confined within the community themselves for that year. Same thing was with the Chettinad family for that year. But Mr. Chettiar was one of the persons who saw that we cannot be limited only to a smaller fragment of the society. I have the scope, I have the opportunity not only to go India but beyond India. So those days people from the south were establishing trade centers in Burma, in Malay, in Ceylon, now Sri Lanka, and Singapore, Bangkok. In all those areas, our Indians were going and they were establishing the trade centers. But the banking facilities were only confined to the European banks. There was no Indian bank which could support or facilitate this foreign exchange. And Mr. Chettiar dreamt of that bank. He was already a director in the Indian bank, because it was also, the Indian bank was also was also set up by the Chettiars, only his cousins and all these things, relatives. He was already there, but he was not satisfied the way Indian bank was doing. Again, it is a community-based trading, or mostly localized in South. Though the name Indian was there, the total, I would say, the willingness to go out of the state was not to that level. So based on that only, he said that I must create a bank which will not only have a national outlook, but which will facilitate Indians who are trading abroad. And that's how the Indian Overseas Bank was created. And on 10th February, we all know that this year we have celebrated 85 years. Indian Overseas Bank opened 3 branches, and one of them was at Rangoon. I think the only Indian bank which has opened a foreign center or a foreign branch on the day of establishment. There is no other bank in India which has opened, or whoever has even thought even to open a branch outside the country for that year. And not only that, for that year, he was from Indian Bank. He could have taken the people from Indian Bank, could have taken the staffs from that, but he didn't do that. He took the best from the industry. So the first CEO was appointed from the Central Bank of India, and later on all the top executives were taken from Imperial Bank of India for that. And almost, because Imperial Bank of India, later which became State Bank, so it was already having some very structured way of banking formats. So he just established them, he just tried to put them in his own bank. And the manual of Indian Overseas Bank was written, which was then called as a modified version of Imperial Bank of India. And it has come with lot of do's and don'ts right from day one. And during the process when he was heading the bank, there were so many incidents by which he has just acted as a true nationalistic, I would say, a national leader for the day. So there was one incidence of defaults by the Chettiar community in Malay for the day, when many of the loans they were in default for the day, and the bank took strong actions. So there were representations to him from the community that you being a Chettiar, you are taking action against us. But he said that banking has its own laws. I am ready to support you. Okay, theek hai, for that. In fact, I can say that concept of restructuring probably came from that, because he extended soft loans also. The bank extended, but he was very firm that if you default, the bank will take appropriate action. The message was very clear. And he cared for his employees. The employees were paid not less than what they used to get in the Madras presidency, that is under the British government for the day. He ensured that. There were rewards and recognitions, and accelerated increments, accelerated other facilities were also there. And that's how he gained the confidence of his staff. And what Mr. Radhakrisnan has said, that the staff in Rangoon during the time of World War, when Burma was taken over by the Japanese forces, the staff carried all the cash on their heads and shoulders and walked through the jungle terrains and brought it to Calcutta, and that's how the depositors' money was protected. Unfortunately, at a very young age of 46 years old, he died in a plane crash. I always say that probably he would have been alive for another 10-15 years. Probably we would have been one of the strongest banks in India, because his visions were very, very far-sighted. It was not for a period of 5 years or 10 years, it was far, far beyond that. So with this legacy we all started, and I.O.B came, and I still remember, as it is also rightly pointed out, that when I joined SBI as a probationary officer, and gradually when I became a deputy manager, then in all the performance review meetings, the camel rating was done by Reserve Bank of India at that time, if you remember. That is the capital, asset quality, liquidity, and all these things were there. So in that camel's rating, I.O.B was always placed, there were 28 public sector banks, and always I.O.B was coming 1, 2, 3, always. I still remember I.O.B was one bank and the other bank was Corporation Bank. These two banks I remember very clearly. It was always figuring among the first 3-4 banks, and we were always receiving the rebukes from the regional managers. If this bank, 2 banks, small banks can do it, why can't you? In fact, that's a lesson also, because SBI has really come up very much from that angle, and today in the digital area, it is one of the best banks, no doubt on it for that year, because today in the ease rating, they are undisputed number 1, whereas we have slipped down our position. But the thing is that was and I think in those days of camel rating 1, 2, and 3, when I.O.B used to come, many of you were actually the employees of the bank, who have contributed at that time and who have really brought the bank to this ranking. First, second, and third, always for the day. And the other thing also, I.O.B is known for customer service. I can definitely say, because since I have come from a big bank for the day, when I compare the customer service in I.O.B, and because I always go through the reports, I always ask from my customer service department that give me the major complaints what the bank is receiving for the day. complaints on account of misbehavior, complaints on account of non-attending the customers, these are, I would say, very, very few. Very, very few. It speaks of the, I would say, the culture of the bank, which is very rich for that year, that totally proactiveness towards the customers and taking their problems as ours and resolving it. Definitely, it's a great, great quality for that year. This is one great strength what we are having. But over the years, something has happened, especially 2015 onwards. I won't blame the decisions that are being taken, but circumstances, whatever has happened, it was probably our capital was not enough to take such decisions. And that's why when the economy got badly affected due to various reasons, one of them definitely the various policies of the government. Number two, the Chinese intrusions into the Indian market. All these things have factored. And coupled with that, IOB's, I would say, the intention to grow at a much faster rate, not in tandem with the risk capital that what we are having. But there may be other factors also, but that's not the thing. But again, the bank was put into PCA by the Reserve Bank of India. We struggled, our people struggled for 6 years, but like many other banks, we have not stopped our war against the PCA. We continued with our efforts, and that resulted into a positive yield. You know that on 29 September, as on the end of the business, we are out of the PCA by Reserve Bank of India. So that's also because of the contributions, the legacy that you have given to your juniors. You see, all of us live in this world for our younger generations. It is a fact. Today, if the younger generations are boasting of something, the comforts, whatever the improvements in the daily life, it is because of the older generations that have made this sacrifice. The Wright brothers have invented the aeroplanes, but they have never enjoyed the comfort of the aeroplane ride, what we are enjoying today. That is how it happens. The inventor, Thomas Edison, has done so much on electric bulbs and others, the acoustic system and all these things, but he has never enjoyed the comfort of these, the new generation, whatever the digital equipments we are enjoying today for that. He has never enjoyed for that year. Even probably he has not even seen this type of lights also in his entire year. He has just made the invention. So we all live for our younger generation. And that is your contribution, why in the Indian tradition, Indian values, we always respect our elders. Because it is because of them we are what we are today. And many of you have taken so much of responsibilities when you are in the employed in I.O.B as an employee. You have taken risks. You have worked for the bank. The bank has earned profit. And today all those things have accumulated, and today the bank has come to a position, I must say, it is now being recognized as definitely one of the performing banks. And we are in a position for that year. There were one thing when I also joined, there was a lot of, I would say, dissatisfaction or low morale among our existing staff members also, because 5 years almost, there was nothing was done, or nothing could be done. I won't say nothing was done, nothing could be done in the, for any HR benefits or comforts for that year. Number two, we could not invest on the technology. The entire ecosystem, the entire banking system was going to a different system of banking, to the new gen banking. Because with the generations, or with the change in the generations, when the new generation comes, everyone comes with its own pros and cons for that day. And today, you see the new generations, they don't like to visit a bank. They are all tech savvy. They all do in their mobile phone. The entire world is in their mobile phone. We have seen one advertisement, Duniya Meri Muthi Mein. That is the actual thing today. Everyone does everything on the mobile phone. So IOB, known for its customer service, good customer service, but if you don't get a customer, where will this customer service go? Today, customers will not come to your branch. You should have a very strong outreach system by which you can reach the customer. And that can be done only through technology. So we have started investing a lot. A huge amount is being invested in technology today. Tomorrow, within 6-7 months, you will completely see a different bank. In central office, many of where you have worked, we have just started the automation of office notes. So no office notes are coming through folder files, a messenger carrying from 3rd floor to MD's room at 6th floor for that year. All these things have been taken when it is just through the virtual movement of the node coming to the iPad of the MD or ED. And all the GMs also are involved in the process. So this we have just started. I think within 1 month, the decisions will be much, much faster. Previously, when I was away to some place, Delhi, Mumbai, for some meetings for 3-4 days, whenever I used to come back, I was seeing heaps of files wanting for my decision, pending at my home. And now, with this office automation, I can dispose of the files during my course of journey, during the journey only. The decisions will be much, much faster. In the field of doing the banking things, you will find completely different. The thing is that we will now be doing the entire account opening through the welcome kits. And it will be an outreach by which, on tap, a person can go to a customer's residence or office, and on tap he can open an account through video KYC. That also we are going to implement. Our processes of sanctioning loans. You see, one unfortunate thing in the bank, which I also noticed, was that the processes, there are many CBI cases in the bank. And I would say a little bit disproportionate to the number of employees in the bank, employed in the bank, for whatever reasons, for that. Even today, so many retiree persons, they come and say unnecessary, they have been called, they have been asked to either to visit the CBI office or ED office for some reasons or others, and definitely it scares them. Yesterday also I had a meeting, the Joint Director of CBI, he just came me, I shared our thoughts, and I said that, of course, a lot of things have been done. Government has done, I would say, tremendous improvement in this area than what has been at least 3-4 years ago. But still I just say that if the department, if the CBI, which is considered a set of officers and on which I would say, we still have the faith, if really the malafides, persons who have done malafides can be segregated and punished, and people who have taken decisions should be spared. Because you see, only God can take 100% decision correct. We are all human beings. If we are taking decisions on 20 files, 2 decisions can go incorrect. But that does not mean that the person has a malafide intention. So the thing is that we are now trying to develop into all these areas, a completely new generation. So these loans will now be done through an LOS, loan originating software system, where all the corporate memories will be kept intact. The records will be kept intact, the risk ratings will be kept intact, and the proposals would be moving at a much faster rate. The decisions will happen at a much faster rate. So these technological investments are coming every way in all the fields for that in the banking system. Only thing, we are a little behind in implementing this because other banks have already implemented it, but we need to catch up the ecosystem first. And I must thank you that especially your General Secretary and President, I think they have at least met me 3-4 times for the day and coming up with various problems. I think many of them we could short it because of our HR department, with the active support of HR department, and some of the things I still remember, that the payment of interest in respect of the loan, I think we deducted that amount from the pension amount of the due on the account of Supreme Court judgments, and all these things were there, so we could refund it back, and many things we have done it. Some of the more things what I must thank my HR department, they have done wonderful things I'd like to share. The first thing was that you all have received probably a loan, because the premium, the one thing I must say, yes, the premium for the medical treatment is quite high. But let me assure you, if I.O.B continues with the increasing trend of profit, definitely we are going to look something better or something beneficial for the retirees also. So already we have introduced a scheme of concessional loan at just 5% interest for payment of the insurance premium for the day. It is the lowest, I think 5%, because we cannot give any loan at 0%. That is not permissible by RBI. Even our festival advance, the festival loan is actually a festival advance, where we say we are giving 1 month salary in advance. That is not being treated as a loan also for that day. So we have kept it at a very low interest of 5%, and only 55,000 rupees is the quantum we have kept at the maximum. And some of the things which has been recently passed by the board, I would just like to tell you that towards reimbursement of medical expenses, and this may be also you can utilize it for paying the premium. So all retirees who are the pensioners will get rupees 2,000. And the family pensioners will get rupees 1,000. And this amount, because we have also, I have highlighted in the IBA Management Committee to Secretary DFS was there, because this limit is also very low, because it is only 20 crores we can fix for the bank. So we have, and that is very, I think these instructions were some 8-10 years back. So we have asked the government, and sooner or later will also be going from us with my signature, so to actually increase the quantum so that we can give much, much more in this regard. The funeral expenses, which was till now 7,500 rupees, has been doubled to rupees 15,000. So this is nothing, this funeral expenses, the thing is that we don't want that people should leave this world, but the fact remains that we are mortal. But the thing is that the family, this 15,000 rupees, gets the amount immediately, and that actually for during the course of the funeral rituals and all these things comes as a help to them for the day. But one thing, the great thing we have done it, that people who are retired for the day, and if something unfortunate incident happens to their ward or their children, God forbid it should not happen, but if such things happen, the education loan up to 7.5 lakhs is completely waived. So this is another thing I can tell you for the day. So till now it was definitely one way the employee or the retired employee has lost his child for the day, and on the other hand, this was a financial liability to them for the day. Now with the amount 7.5 lakhs, we have decided that we will waive this amount for that year. But I can also say that last time also when we did the compensation, payment of compensation to the employees, you see, the first thing is that I must share, and you'll be happy to know that compassionate appointments have been paid, have started, and those who have died in COVID or otherwise, we have been very, very fair enough and very, very liberal enough to give compassionate appointment, and already we have given 69, how many? 86. 86 compassionate letters have been issued, and out of which I would say, and another the payment of 20 lakhs to the COVID affected people. The retirees up to 2 months were also eligible, and 2 retirees have also got it. They have got 20 lakhs rupees for this. So this I can say that lot many earn it for the retirees, but much need to be done, much can be done. Number one thing is that, first of all, our balance sheet should become strong, because as you have all said that we are definitely doing good profits. We started with a mere profit of 118 crores in March 20. We have ended up with 434 crores, almost 3.5 times in December 21. So if this trend can continue on the one hand, and number two, certain features need to be changed by the government also, certain instructions which are quite old. So we will represent to the government also if those things can be removed, or if those can be modified, then I would say much more we can do for the retirees. In fact, my HR department is really, I must thank them that they are very, very open to help our people, our staff. I know their limitations, because 23,000 people and another 16,000 retirees, the pressure of 38,000 people, they have also have to tackle it in a quite, I would say, in a diplomatic way at many times. But still, I can tell that they are very open to all the suggestions by your associations, and they are implementing it from time to time. So once again, I congratulate you in this triennial conference, and I'm happy to see a gathering from each corner of the country, not only limited to this state, but you have all come from north, from east, from west, and also definitely from south for that, and you have all come here. Because I am a member of SBI pension fund, so I can't be a formal member in you for the day, but definitely all my colleagues will be soon becoming your member for the day. And definitely the thing is that the I.O.B, the bonding factor here is the Indian Overseas Bank. This bonding factor definitely would remain. Only one request I can only make wherever I go and meet the elders, I always say that you were with I.O.B, you have grown with I.O.B, you have retired from I.O.B, but definitely because of I.O.B, you have got a good family, you have got a good house, children are educated and all these things. I know that competition is very fierce, but many of your children are working in multinationals, they are working in various private companies or even big government organizations. And I know that we have to improve a lot. But despite that, I would request you, please enjoin upon your children to bank with Indian Overseas Bank. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that interesting and very short and sweet narrations, factual narrations. Thank you so much, sir. So our guest of honor today, Sri Rabindra Kumar Pradhan, General Manager, Human Relations. Quantity is what you can count, and quality is what you can count on. That way, he is handling the portfolios with larger and longer interests. Sri R.K. Pradhan will be speaking now.
Very good evening to all of you. Most respected MD and CEO, sir. President of IOBRA, respected A.L. Chandramouli ji, General Secretary Sri Balchandran ji, other dignitaries in the dais, and my most respected, some of them I can recollect their names, Mr. Radhakrisnan, Mr. M.S. Prakash ji and Gopinath ji. And my dear IOBians, I'll not tell retirees or ex-IOBians. You are all IOBians only, you are part of the family. And of course, the representatives from different other banks also, they have come here. I'm really delighted to be invited to this August gathering, where I'm able to meet many of my senior colleagues. I remember these ex-general managers who are sitting in the front row. They were the inspiration when we were junior officers at Scale 1 or Scale 2. I still remember Radhakrisnan ji, he was heading credit monitoring department. Thank you so much, IOBRA, for inviting me to this meeting. I'm indeed happy to share my thoughts here. First of all, what we have heard from our seniors, whatever is the association and all these things, first, these three letters, I.O.B, Indian Overseas Bank, it comes first. Then all others follows. If I.O.B is not there, nothing is there. Our existence is not there, these associations, unions, nothing is there. So I.O.B comes first. This is what we have learned from our seniors. And we try to maintain this spirit, this thought, day in and day out. We try to upkeep the name of Indian Overseas Bank so that all of us exist. Regarding Indian Overseas Bank, sir has already told, our MD and CEO sir, the great journey of Indian Overseas Bank when 3 branches were opened on the day of opening in 1937, Karaikudi, Cathedral and Rangoon. Any of you can imagine or tell what was the deposit and advance the day this bank, the great bank, was formed? It was only with ₹6.64 crores deposit and 3.23 crores advances. On the day of independence, 1947, it was only 6.64 crores deposit was there for Indian Overseas Bank and 3.23 crore advances was there in Indian Overseas Bank. And on the day of nationalization, 1969, we were having 195 branches. Deposit was 67 crores. Advances was 45 crores. And where we are now? We are now having 3,218 branches. Deposit of around 2,50,000 crores and advances of around 1,48,000, roughly 1,50,000 crores. So I.O.B has grown from this 13, 14 crores to now 4 lakh crores. Imagine the contribution. All of you, so many our ex-IOBians who are not there also, they have built this bank brick by brick. So this is what we are enjoying. Whatever fruits we are enjoying now, it is all the trees were sown by you. And naturally, it comes as it is a responsibility and a duty on our part to further carry it forward so that our next generation also goes along with the trend set by all of us. So, friends, the contribution of all of you cannot be ignored, cannot be ignored. And it makes us duty-bound to help our people, our friends, all of you sitting the other side, and also who are there in the roles. Of course, after some days, everybody, including me, I'll be superannuating in another 3-4 months. I'll be sitting the other side. But when we are there at the helm of the affair, naturally it comes as a duty to see that the bank grows. Simultaneously, our members, each staff, each retiree, they also grow. Taking that spirit behind all the decisions, and of course with the support of our MD and CEO and executive directors, we are able to do a lot for our staff members and for all of us sitting here. Friends, now we are having 24,678 pensioners. Maybe if you add some retirees who are not taking the pensions, so the number of retirees will be much more than that. It will definitely cross 25,000. 24,678 pensioners, and inclusive of 4,851 family pensioners. And this number is more than our regular employees now. We are having 22,500 odd regular employees in roles as of now. But our pensioners are 24,678. So it speaks volumes, your contributions, whatever we are here. And we are paying pension of around 80 crores per month. All of us should know what the banks is doing for the pensioners. So around 960 crores per annum we are paying as pensioner to all the pensioners. We have a robust pension fund of more than 9,000 crores to ensure that this pension continues month on month, year on year. Our bank is very transparent in building this fund. Every month, maybe like our senior general managers, they may be thinking this fund has been created and out of that pension is being paid. Not that. In addition to that, because to increase the to pay the increased the pension due to increase of DA, due to increase in the number of pensioners, the bank is contributing every month from the P&L around 800 crores per annum. It is going to the pension fund so that the pension fund is increasing year on year. So this is what all the pensioners should know, what the bank is paying. Even our salaries is around, we are paying around 180 crores, 185 crores to our employees. And bank is paying around 800 crores, that comes to around, say, 75 crores per month from the exchequer, from the P&L to the pension fund. And this contribution to the pension fund also continues when we are in PCA, we were making losses. Many banks, when they are in PCA, when they are in loss, they are not contributing to the pension fund. But our bank, just to ensure that our employees after retirement, they continue to get the pension, even during the PCA time, bank has been contributing substantial amount to the pension fund. Then, all of you are aware, 11th bipartite settlement and joint note. We are the first bank in the history, in the entire banking industry, to pay the arrears to our employees and to the retirees also. We are the first bank. Now recently this 30% family pension has been increased to 30%. We are one of the first banks, maybe second or third bank, to pay the 30%, implement the 30% enhanced pension to all the pensioners. Then, as our MD sir has already declared in this August meeting, substantial amount, say 25% of the welfare fund, whatever 20 crores is the outer limit for the pension welfare fund. Out of that, around 25% of the this pension fund is kept aside for the retirees, and as he has already declared, this 2,000 rupees and 1,000 rupees for the family pension, it will be paid on every year. Funeral expenses, we have increased. It is circular, is yet to come, but as Sir has already declared it, to almost double from 7,500 to 15,000. Education loan waiver. Friends, it's a unique thing. I don't think any other bank is having this for pensioners or for the employees even. This is what actually when I got during the COVID time, 2-3 cases we came across where our employees and the retirees as well, I think 2 retirees, they called us, they asked us, sir, my son, my daughter, for whom I have taken my loan, mortgaging my entire house and all these things, he is no more. He has expired in COVID. How I can pay the loan? Can you waive this, or there is some scheme where OTS can be sanctioned? My department told, sir, this is how people are requesting what to do. I thought, let us form a scheme. This is real welfare. As sir was telling, always when we discuss about the welfare, he used to tell, this is the real welfare of the people. Somebody has taken a loan mortgaging his house, and unfortunately his son or daughter dies for whatever reason. Where from the family pays the loan? He has taken the loan in anticipating that he will get a job and he will pay. But suppose the breadwinner he is no more, where from he will pay? So we thought, no, let us form a scheme where if the son or daughter dies, who has availed a education loan, whatever, with mortgaging the property or even without mortgaging the property, the entire up to 7.5 lakhs, it will be waived. Then I understand for the retiree, because I also feel sometimes the pain, and two things, maybe this may not be the end of it, but two things what comes to my mind is obdescent, pension obdescent. It's really a what you say, very significant thing. It can be achieved. I do not know. I cannot, right now I am not able to tell what is the development, but I think these associations must be taking some step for getting the pension obdescent. I think we are the only bankers or the only pensioners, I think, in the entire industry where there is no pension obdescent. So let it happen. I wish that, yes, this should happen. And further, one more thing, increased premium of health insurance. This is a great challenge. Yes, I have also felt I am going to retire after 3-4 months. I am feeling what to do after my retirement. Now bank is paying. After my retirement, bank will not pay for me. So this also, as Sir has assured, if we are going to get higher profits and all these things, there will be definitely improvements will be there. Now, of course, whatever possible, we have implemented the 2,000 and 1,000 for family pension, and soft loans. Loans are provided for giving the premium, for paying the premium for the health insurance at a very low rate of 5%, which is, again, when compared to the other banks, if you see, say they are giving the rate of interest at the pension loans, particularly 8%, 9% and all. When we discussed with our MD and ED sirs, he told, no, why it should be 8%, 9%? It should be further reduced. So we came to it was decided at that time, no, it should not be more than 5%. So it was a soft loan given at 5%, agreed, because though bank is, the interest, whatever the profit is low, but still bank has been very generous in giving these loans. Maybe it must be a very good scheme for all the retirees. Now, one more thing I would like to tell all of you. Many of you definitely, as Radhakrisnan sir was telling, it is a meeting for the depositors as well. All of you, definitely you are all going to the banks and all your deposits are there with the bank. And as sir has requested, your children also should bank with Indian Overseas Bank. Along with that, I will make another appeal. Customer service, because all of you are going to the branches, anywhere you feel that customer service is not up to mark, please let us know. That is the backbone of the banking. Please let us know either through mails or through letters or even personal calls through SMS or WhatsApp. That will really help us in carrying forward the image of the bank in future. All of you are the ambassadors of the bank. And please continue your support for the bank. And definitely, we are there to help the entire, the retirees, our family members, all of you are our family members, though all of you have retired, superannuated. It's not actually retirement, it's a superannuation. Retirement is a different term. You have superannuated from service. We'll be superannuating the day we are reaching 60 years, we'll be superannuating. But like in a family members, in a family, the members, elder members have a responsibility, they should get the respect and all. All of you deserve that respect in the I.O.B family. And I can assure you that it will be continued till the Indian Overseas Bank is there. Thank you so much for inviting, and again to be associated with all of you. And I'm really happy to meet our ex-general managers who are, I'm meeting after such a long time. Maybe they may not be remembering me, but I remember your contribution to the bank, and definitely will work for the bank and see that the bank goes forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. All of us, only one thing, Indian Overseas Bank, always good people to grow with. Now I request Sri ALC sir to read some messages received.
See, I've been receiving messages of greetings from past MDs and the past general managers like Mr. P.S. Gopalakrishnan, T.S. Raghavan, and others, and Mr. Acharya of Arise. But this particular message from S.C. Gupta deserves attention. That's what I wanted to read, what he has exactly written to me. Good retirees still active. Share my best wishes to all the IOBians present and past. Thank you. I served totally 41 years in different banks. He started his career in OBC, ending with a CMD in PNB for 25 months. But with no exaggeration, I may say that for about 6 years with I.O.B. as ED and MD was the best. So that is the message I received from S.C. Gupta. I thought I can read it for you. Thank you.
I request Mr. Balachandran of I.O.B. RV to deliver the vote of thanks.
Mr. President, our MD, CEO and Chief Guest and Guest of Honor and all others assembled here. Our MD is very much approachable. As he mentioned in his address, we met him as many as 4 or 5 times in the recent past.
On the day of coming out of PC, we met him.
Yes, on the day of coming out of PC also we met. Not only that, he has narrated the history of State Bank of India, how it was imperial bank, how the colonial hangover was there, and now how it has become State Bank of India. State Bank of India. So, he has narrated the history. We come to know of it. Not only State Bank of India history, but also the history of Indian Overseas Bank and the biography of the founder, our founder. He has narrated that also. So his speech was very much enriching and enlightening also on the banking development. Above all, he has now declared what are all possible has been done. That is the four things: waiver of educational loan up to 7.5 lakhs, 2,000 rupees insurance premium subsidy, and 1,000 rupees for a family pensioner, 15,000 rupees, that is almost doubled, funeral expenses. So from cradle to grave, our benefits are ensured. Nobody can tell anything. Even our family may not consider it as a burden. So all these things have been explained, because for the past 1 week and more, we were getting questions. What are all the benefits we are going to get? But we are tight-lipped and we have not told anything. And even in today's meeting, it came for the discussion. And I told them, you please wait for 3 hours, 2 hours, and the clock is running down. And finally, now we have got the information, and in his inimicable style, our Joint General Secretary Jagannathan immediately flashed the news who is manning our digital platform, Mr. S. Jagannathan. GM, our General Manager and guest of honor, remembering all those who were as GMs sitting in front of him, and also by name, telling them by name. When he was Scale 1 officer, Scale 2 officer. This is a retiree association. We will have something to think it over, ponder over, rewind our thoughts to the past. Then, lot of other things also now we have got. GM, when GM had guest of honor, has made my task very easy. In the morning session, and also I expected tomorrow, our members were asking and will be asking about the pension fund. How much load the bank is bearing on account of the pension disbursement, how much pension account, how the pension fund is constructed, what are all the difficulties in managing that fund. Everything has explained. So, our honorable guest of honor and general manager made the work easy for the General Secretary of the I.O.B. RA, and I have to thank him for that also. This is a great occasion. Number 1 of our bank, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, is among us and has given a very good address, and we are all enlightened by that. And our General Manager also narrated so many things, the difficulties in meeting out the things, everything. Our Deputy General Manager, Mr. Subramaniam, is here coordinating the arrival and departure. Also, from yesterday onwards, he is contacting us. Please be on time. And we have to thank Deputy General Manager also. Chief Manager, Niranjan Kumar. And he is the recently appointed for pension exclusively, Neeraj Kumar. And Chief Manager, Mr. Jayaraman. And as and when we go, as and when we give a ring, he immediately clarifies things, and it is very easy for us. I thank them all. Senior Vice President, President, Vice Presidents, Joint General Secretaries, Deputy General Secretaries, Assistant General Secretaries, Central Committee members, delegate and observers, right from Assam to Kanyakumari. Here all the delegates and observers, this is the delegate method of conducting the General Council. So, for every 50 member, there will be one delegate. That means 7,500 and more are now on our rolls. So, this is the delegate system, and serving and retirees, and especially the AIBRF office bearers, TNBRF office bearers are also here, and they are a big support for Indian Overseas Retirees Association. And the campier, Miss Booma, has done the work very well, and I have to thank her. He has made our job very easy. Especially the 7.5 lakhs waiver is a great thing. When Mr. Palanichami case came, when Mr. Chandrasekhari case came, and when Mr. Chidambaram case came, we felt that. And now, hereafterwards, such a burden will not be felt by the people, retirees, whose wards have availed the educational loan up to 7,50,000. 7.5 lakhs. This is a great thing, and I have to thank for this gesture of our bank to us. With all this, I thank you one and all, the hall people, mic people, photographer, and every one of you, and I thank again. Thank you very much. National
National anthem, please. जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड चलरंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उत्कल जलति तरंगा तव शुभ नामे लागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे काहे तब जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय जय हिंद
I.O.B. long live, long live, long live. 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 I.O.B. Zindabad, Zindabad, Zindabad.